So while I was at school, I decided to get a job at a small grocery store in my town. My manager was flexible with my schedule and I needed the cash for gas. I got trained by this guy who kinda gave me weird vibes, but I figured he was just super socially awkward. Eventually, I got pretty comfortable with him being around and in fact would ask him for help with anything I didn't know because he knew everything there was to know about the job. A couple months after I started, my boss called me into the office as soon as I got in and she was crying. Another store manager was there too and he was also quiet and visibly shook up. They told me that the guy had turned himself into the police that night before for murder. There had been an infamous murder in the town over 4 years ago where a woman had been stabbed while jogging in a trail at around 7 p.m. at night. It was a cold case and pretty much everyone had moved on for it. Apparently this guy had done it and kept it a secret for 4 years, but guilt finally got to be too much. The worst part is that no one would have guessed it either. He was always nice and helpful with everyone. The customers were so upset by it for months. The week before he turned himself in, he bought a cherry wine soda because I had never had one and had to try it. It took me a long time to be able to wrap my head around this. It's scary that you never really know who you're around and what they are capable of.
We were at a wedding and I think that we were just about to leave. Me and my brother were getting into the car and sitting in our car seats. Then this random guy that I've never seen before comes up to our car. The doors are open on both sides. And asks us something like,
"Hey, let me smell your feet, and if they smell bad, I'll give you a quarter."
Now this man had a kind of thick accent and for some reason I thought he said coffee instead of quarter. Me, I like coffee. Guy looked at me weird. My brother then said something like, "Okay, I'll let you smell my feet." Random weird guy then goes over to his door, he was standing at mine, and grabs his leg and smells his foot. He then said something like,
"PU, that smelled pretty bad."
hands my brother a quarter. Then I probably thought, I want a quarter too. So I asked the man to come over to my door and smell my feet too. He does, says close to the same thing, and gives me a quarter. He then left. So, guy that wanted to smell me and my brother's feet and was willing to pay for it, let's not meet again. I hadn't really thought about that memory until like yesterday or something, but I was like, okay, wow, that's pretty weird. So I decided to put it here. Thanks for reading. So back in high school I started a video production club which completely fell apart after one terrible movie. There was a guy in it who was part of it who seemed really into it. I stayed in my hometown after an attempt to move away fell apart. Just today I was at the local hotel hot tub, it's part of my gym membership, and one of my former clubmates stopped by too. He recognised me and while we were in the hot tub he did the following things. Talked to me about the Bible, had conversations with people that weren't there, told me about how we need to make film productions, told me about how when he tried to move to Canada with $100, the border patrol agent became his god, drank the hot tub water twice while making eye contact with me, told me how he'd been watching me shopping around town, and named all of my co-workers at the public library. He didn't become overly threatening and I think I was able to play it cool. But damn, I'm still a little worried about bumping into him around town again. So this happened about 10 minutes ago and my insides are shaking. For some background, I'm currently in college, female, and had to move from a nice safe place to somewhere somewhat dingier and smaller. I'm broke. Anyways, they put me in the bottom floor, which as someone with huge anxiety sucks because it's behind a convenience store, so a ton of weirdos walk by. So I have a cat named Simba. He's a common yellow tabby, 1.5 years old, and he was sitting on the windowsill. This guy, probably in his 30s with baggy and dirty clothes and smoking something, he starts going,
"Hey miss."
and then goes to tell me that my Simba is his cat. I asked him, yeah, well, what's his name? And he said Ryan. I went to close the window on him and he said,
"Why is the cat trying to get to me?"
I grabbed the cat from his happy perch on the windowsill. Buddy, it's not about you. Anyways, I shut my window and closed the blinds. The guy stood outside, crouched, grumbling.
Alright, that's what you want to do, fine.
He left after a bit, but creepy dude. Let's not meet. Update. After peeking out the window, the guy's across the street with a lady. They appear to be sleeping there.